And you're right there as Javi Vasquez is getting ready to deliver the first pitch of the game. And we are underway as Coco Crisp takes one inside. Crisp brings an 8-game hitting streak into this at-bat. 15 for 30 during that streak. 2 home runs and 7 runs batted in. 80 degrees first pitch temperature. Nice big crowd making its way into the stadium. And Crisp pops it up. Shallow center field. Coming on, Bernie Williams. He's there, 1 down.
Let's take a look at the rest of the Yankee defense for Javier Vasquez. Matsui, you saw Bernie make that first out here at the top of the first inning. Kenny Lofton playing in right field because Gary Sheffield still a little bit sore on that ankle, so he's a designated hitter. Olerud, Cairo, Jeter, A-Rod at third, and Jorge Posada behind home plate.
The veteran Omar Vizquel digs in, having a very good season. And of course, he's a wizard with the glove. And the pitch is outside, 1-0.
I think one of the surprising things, even to the Indians themselves, is how they've scored runs this year, how their offense has produced. You know, we talk about the magic number for the Yankees is to score at least 5 runs. And Eric Wedge, manager in your picture there, he's seeing the Cleveland team right up there with the Yankees in terms of scoring runs.
Vizquel slaps one into right center field. Giving chase is Lofton. He can't get there. Played on a hop. And that's a 1-out single for Omar Vizquel.
Yeah, you were talking about scoring runs. The Boston Red Sox lead the American League in runs scored. The Yankees are second. And you just don't look at this young offensive lineup as you watch Vizquel line one into right field for the first hit of this game. They're the kind of club that can score as many runs as the Red Sox or the Yankees. So they are a very good offensive, young offensive ball club. And they also can score a lot of runs, as we mentioned.
So Vasquez immediately has to work from the stretch, and he'll deal to Matt Lawton. And the pitch to Lawton is upstairs. One of the home plate umpire is C.B. Buckner. Eric Cooper is at first. Chuck Merriweather at second. And Mike Riley is over at third. Mike Riley is the crew chief. And the pitch to Lawton is a strike. And another strike ported on the outside corner. The count 1-2.
A lot of buzz, as you said, Michael, about the Red Sox creeping up on the Yankees. And the danger is if, fortunately, the Yankees have some stable, mature players and manager and coaches, is you can't look beyond the series and the team you're playing right now and worry about the Red Sox. They're playing great baseball. But to figure that they've gone 9-1 in the last 10 and you still have a 4.5 game lead, that's the positive you have to look at.
And Joe Torre said, listen, we went 5-2 on this road trip, and if that's not good enough, well, that's not good enough.
Yeah.
You can't expect to play much better than 5-2.
Yeah, he said if we can win 5 out of the 7 games, I'll take that. If we lose, we lose. But if we can continue to do that, I'll take that and take my chances. But you talk about the veteran ball club, Kitty. These guys have been through some wars already. It's all about confidence, and this club has a lot of confidence in themselves. And even though that the lead has been whittled down a little bit, their confidence has not wavered.
The 2-2. Grounded right side. Snared there by Cairo. The throw to second. It's dropped by Jeter. Picked it up and tried to apply the tag to Vizquel. That was some play, though, by Cairo to even get it off the second. Maybe the proper play would have been to get the out at first.
Yeah, it was some play, but I think Miguel so eager to try to make and get the out at second, but the degree of difficulty, I mean, to be able to throw it accurately from that distance, Jeter had to reach in, partially shielded by the runner. Certainly the safer play would have been just to go to first base. It's a kind of play that late in the game, if it's a close game, you have to gamble on, but early in the game, you're better off just taking the sure out at first and trying to avoid the big inning.
Well, they're scoring at a fielder's choice. And I don't quite understand that scoring since somebody had to reach somehow, but that is bookkeeping. Here's Victor Martinez. Pitches inside.
I think what Howie is figuring is that you couldn't give Lawton a hit. You couldn't give Cairo an error because of the degree of difficulty. I mean, if you assume he should have gone to first base, it would have been an out. But I guess it's like assuming a double play. Can't do that.
The 1-0. You know, I understand what he's thinking, but again, when you're keeping score like that, they have to have reached for some reason. So a fielder's choice, you'd reach because the out was made at second, but there wasn't an out made, so why is Lawton on?
Well, he's out because the fielder made the choice of trying to get the out at second, and he didn't get the out.
If there wasn't really anybody on, he would have gotten the out at first base.
Popped up behind the plate, and that's out of play.
You know, you talk about the degree of difficulty in that play for Cairo. It would have been even more. It would have been difficult too, just to turn around and get his body set to throw back to first base, even though that's a much shorter throw, so you got more time to make that play. He was lucky to get to it. I mean, it was as far as he could reach out to his left to grab the baseball in the first place.
Martinez has really done a good job. A young catcher with 94 runs batted in, hitting .287. The 2-1. Count 3-1.
Well, the Indians have the advantage, just like the Yankees do, in hitting coaches. They've got guys. They have Eddie Murray, the Indians do, and the Yankees have Don Mattingly. These guys are two proven great players who see things that a lot of other garden variety coaches don't. Not that they don't try as hard, the other ones, but these guys see things that other coaches don't. It's been very helpful to the hitters on both teams.
And Martinez walks, so Vasquez is in immediate trouble. Bases loaded and 1 out. Travis Hafner, the RBI leader on the Indians, comes to the plate.
Yeah, and Mel's going to make a quick trip to the mound. I'm sure he's already disappointed. This has got to be a mystery, because Bobby and I talked to Mel before the game. I said, how's your pitcher tonight? You got him back on track? And because it's obvious even here in the first inning that elbow is dropping down. If you didn't know from talking to him that his arm is sound, you would think he's throwing like a pitcher with a sore arm, because the arm drops down here and he begins to throw the ball uphill.
You know, when you talk to everybody about, is that a possibility that Vasquez could have a sore arm, and they assure you that his arm is sound.
Right.
And I asked Mel, I said, you as a pitcher, and Kenny, you can allude to this too, you as a pitcher, do you know, I mean, from a hitter standpoint, you pretty much know where your hands are when you start out. Do you know that your arm angle is changed on your delivery, or is it just fatigue that gets you to lower your arm angle as the game goes on? You know, you would think by the way the ball reacts, you would know which slot your arm should be in.
Here's Travis Hafner with the bases loaded. He's 5 for 9 in these situations this year. And Vasquez away, count 1-0.
You have to learn to be your own pitching coach, and the pitches right now to Javi have got to tell him, I'm flat with my arm. Yeah. You know, the one thing you might say, every first pitch to a hitter has been a ball. You got to maybe try to bounce one in the dirt.
Missed again. And the count 2-0. This hasn't exactly been a case of Vasquez getting hit all over the park, but against Martinez, he couldn't come near the plate. And now Travis Hafner has built the count to 2-0. Good hitters count. Hafner, a power hitter from the left side, the 2-0. He drives that one into right center field. That's going to be a base hit, and it's going to be more than just a base hit. It's going to roll all the way to the wall. 1 run scores, 2 runs score. A 3rd run will score. Hafner is at 3rd with a bases clearing 3-run triple, and the Indians are up 3-0.
You know, unfortunately, that's what happens. You know, when you've lost the strike zone, you fall 2 balls and no strike to the run producer in this lineup, and he's just waiting for that fastball right down the middle. He's going to make Vasquez pay for it. Travis Hafner, 240 pounds. I mean, he gets around those bases pretty good at that weight there. That 2-0 fastball. What a hitter's pitch. Knowing that Vasquez has had problems in the strike zone, Just a hitter's delight when you're in that situation.
And he's thinking triple right out of the box. And once it got past Bernie, he was able to get 3. Yankees have the infield in now. And the 1-0 to Casey Blake is ripped foul. Count 1-1. So an inauspicious beginning for Javi Vasquez. And he has done a great job this year at Yankee Stadium, where he's 9-2. In his last 14 innings, Javi Vasquez has given up 13 earned runs. The 1-1. Breaking ball, 1-2. Ben Broussard is on deck. And another breaking ball. He swings meekly at it, 2 away. Big strikeout for Vasquez with a runner on third.
A little different story, you know, when you get the first pitch strike in there, and then Vasquez went to his best pitch, was the breaking balls, back-to-back breaking balls. You could see the nice tight spin and the downward movement and away from the right-hander.
Yankees drop the infield back with 2 outs. Broussard fouls it back.
You can see already the aggressiveness of this young offensive ball club. Broussard didn't waste any time. He saw the pitch that he wanted. He was standing in the box ready to swing.
The 0-1. There's a strike. 0-2.
Eddie Murray knows a little bit about hitting, as Kitty was alluding to, and he knows about it from both sides of the plate.
High pop-up, sky high right side. Cairo and Olrud. Cairo with the call, Cairo with the catch, and that does it here in the first, but not before the Indians score 3 runs on 2 hits, no errors, and 1 man left on base. Indians 3, Yankees coming to bat. Well, Jake Westbrook has a 3-0 lead before he even throws a pitch. Good feeling for a pitcher. This Yankee starting lineup, usually not a good feeling for a pitcher. It's presented by Rico. Bernie Williams, the center fielder, leads off. Batting second and playing shortstop, Derek Jeter. The DH tonight is Gary Sheffield, back from the ankle injury, and he'll bat third. Batting fourth and playing third base, Alex Rodriguez. Hideki Matsui's in left field. He'll bat fifth. Batting sixth and catching, Jorge Posada. John Olrud, the first baseman, will bat seventh. The number 8 hitter is the second baseman, Miguel Cairo. And Kenny Lofton's in right field. He'll bat ninth.
Jake Westbrook will start for the 24th time. He went to the All-Star break, and he's had 5 wins since the All-Star game. He's 11-6. Let's check out the scouting report brought to you by Jeep. A legal spitter. His sinker has so much dip to it that you'd almost think it was a spitter. And the true cutter, like Mariano throws, that has kind of turned his career around. As a result, he's pitching with much more confidence than he did during the brief time he was with the Yankees.
And now he knows he has a 3-0 lead to work with, and he deals to Bernie Williams. Bernie Williams will lead off. It'll be Williams, Jeter, and Sheffield at the top of the order. And the first pitch is a strike.
You see, he works off the first base side of the rubber. We've talked about how important the position on the rubber is for some pitchers, and because he's a sinker baller, that works to his advantage. You can see the nice late movement on that pitch.
Pitcher have a different mindset when he takes the mound with a big lead?
I think it's different with the individual pitcher. The best in my time here with the Yankees watching a pitcher with a big lead was David Wells. He just seemed like he could pitch the same regardless of the score. The opposite of that, the first year he was here, was Mike Messina, because all the years that Mike pitched in Baltimore, he didn't get much run support. And all of a sudden, he came here with a 6-1 lead, and I don't think he knew how to pitch comfortably with it. He didn't handle it as well as Wells.
Well, the Yankees are down 3-0, and if they look up at the scoreboard on left field in a moment, they're going to see that the Red Sox are up 3-0 in the first inning on a Manny Ramirez home run, his 35th of the year. And if it stays the way it is right now, and there's so much more time to go, we're talking about another game being shaved off the lead as Bernie Williams goes down on strikes.
There's the late movement right there on Jake Westbrook's sinker. See, Bernie gives ground, and wow, did that thing have some movement to it. I can see what they mean. I was talking to Eddie Murray before the game. He said, you know, you see Westbrook's fastball almost looks like a spitter. It did come back and tickle the inside corner.
Almost like an airplane landing.
You know, I don't know if you did that, Bobby, as a hitter, but usually when you faced a sinker ball pitcher like that, one thing hitters would do is get up in front of the box.
Well, there's all kinds of adjustments that you can make, and that's certainly an individual choice of what you want to do, but you want to take advantage of a sinker ball pitcher. Obviously, you would want to move up in the box a little bit to try to maybe catch the ball before it sinks too much on you. And look from the middle of the plate away, and I think that's a lot of times that late movement will get those left-handed hitters because they're so conscious of looking for the pitch out of the plate and away from them.
I saw that shot of Mel Stottlemyre, and I know from the days competing against Mel, that's in the pregame meetings, that's what a lot of the hitters would say. Get up in the box, and this guy's got that good sinker. Maybe you can catch it before, you know, it bites as much as if you're in the back of the box.
You know, you get guys like Lou Piniella or Wade Boggs, or those guys. They take advantage of those little things that you're talking about there, and a lot of players today, I think that they just feel comfortable where they're at and they don't make that adjustment. I don't see a whole lot of adjustments today.
Count 2-2 on Jeter. Jeter 5 for 10 lifetime against Westbrook. In his last start, Westbrook 6 innings, 6 hits against the Yankees. Indians lost that game 11-6, and Westbrook did not get a decision. The 2-2. High fly ball, fairly deep center field. Coco Crisp is there. And in right center, he puts it away for the second out of the inning.
Now that's the different movement on the right-handed hitter as compared to the left-handed hitter. That moved in on the hands of Jeter, and he was unable to really get the bat head extended out into the zone. Watch the ball move right in on the hand, and how he had to pull the hands in closer to his body.
Kind of pitch we've seen Sheffield off some good pitchers that throw that ball low in the strike zone. We've seen him really punish those pitches. Joe Nathan in Minnesota, and he did it
to Bob Wickman in Cleveland.
In Cleveland, exactly.
Like it was a one-handed, one-leg swing that he just lined out the ballpark in left field.
That one is lined to left field. Backing up is Lawton, and he has to leap to make the catch on the warning track. That was a BB out to left, but Lawton ran it down for the final out of the inning. So the Yankees are retired in order 1-2-3 by Jake Westbrook. We played one inning here at the stadium. It's been an eventful one. Indians lead the Yankees 3-0. You're watching Yankees baseball right here on the Yes Network. Ronnie Belliard swings at the first pitch and rockets to center field. Going back is Bernie Williams. It's over his head and one hop over the wall. It's a ground rule double for Ronnie Belliard to start off the second inning.
Well, we talked about the aggressiveness of this Cleveland Indian offense. Belliard wasting no time. You can see where the pitch is right down the middle, and Belliard lines it over the head of Bernie Williams. If you see it and you like it, you might as well be swinging at
it. Here's Jody Garrett, and the pitch is outside.
And you see the difference. Bobby mentioned the first pitch right down Broadway. The difference in Westbrook's pitches and Javi Vasquez. All Westbrook's pitches were down around the knees, and again, it goes back to that arm angle. He's very flat with it, and everything is up. See, he's under, and Mel sees it. You know, Mel, like good hitting coaches, from all the years he's played, can see things. But it's one thing to see it, and it's another thing for the pitcher to do it.
He is way away from the plate, 3-0.
What I always loved to do between starts was go out to shortstop and field ground balls. I used to do it with Ozzie Smith and Zoilo Versailles, and just field the ball, step, and throw to first base. That really gets you in the rhythm of finding your natural angle that you release the ball from. And then you carry that onto the mound. Most pitching problems that pitchers run into, you solve away from the rubber. Either in the outfield or the infield.
(3-1). He walks Jody Garrett.
I had really thought after he struck out Casey Blake with a couple of really good breaking balls, and to throw those breaking balls, you got to have the arm angle, the arm slot in the good position to do that. And then he got the other hit around Broussard. After that, I thought, well, maybe he has found that slot, and he will turn it around now.
You got to play games with yourself when this is happening as a pitcher, and right now with everything high, lower your sights. Even if you threw a one-hopper to the catcher, something to find a way to throw the ball down. Yankees looking bunt right here.
Yeah, the best bunter on this ball club.
He's swinging away and hits it deep to left center field. Going back is Matsui, and he puts it away. Tagging from second is Belliard, and he will get there. That's good base running by Ronnie Belliard.
Yeah, Belliard read that very nicely with Matsui. He knew Matsui had to go all the way back to catch this fly ball, and as deep as he wasn't going to be able to really get himself into position. You can see the momentum is going away from the play, and by the time Matsui catches the ball, gets himself set to throw back to the infield, Belliard's already tagged up, and he's on his way to third. Good read by Belliard.
Now the Yankees are hoping for the double play with the guy who's tough to double up. Infield to double play depth. Runners on the corners, and Vizquel swings and misses.
This was always one of Billy Martin's favorite situations. And Bobby and Michael, what Billy would do, okay, you gave Vizquel one swing and he missed. And Billy would say, okay, you drag this bunt toward the second baseman. Because if you get it on the ground, they won't get a double play. They'll get you at first, but you'll get a run home.
And that will not get a run home. Posada near the Indians dugout, but it hits the roof.
Well, if you do it right, you end up with another runner in scoring position down at second. You got the run in, and you got 2 outs. You just figure if you could tack on a run each inning, you're going to have a lot of chances to win a ball game. And that was one of Billy's biggest theories. He said, look, if I've got 1 run, they got to have 2 runs to beat me. If I got 2 runs, they got to have 3 runs to beat me. So any way Billy could put a run on the board, he would try it.
Vasquez ahead in the count, 0-2 to Vizquel. The 0-2. Line drive, base hit to right field. That'll bring in a run. Jody Garrett round second. He's going to go to third. The throw is cut off by Jeter. It's an RBI single for Omar Vizquel. And the Indians now lead 4-0, and the Bluebirds are out in the Bronx.
13 home runs Javi Vasquez has given up on 0-2 pitches, or 2 strike pitches. Now this was not a home run, but it was not a good pitcher's pitch on 0-2. You see Posada set up down and away, and again, that's a byproduct of not throwing the ball from where he did early in the year, from up on top.
The pitch to Lawton is outside.
I got to believe that Mel is really scratching his head because he was so excited about Vasquez's last bullpen session. There goes Mel to the mound now. And he really thought that Vasquez was going to have a big night tonight.
Well, that last pitch was a good example of it. And when you go through tough times like Vasquez is tonight, and you get a little over anxious as Sturts begins to heat up, I mean, you know, from a hitter's standpoint, when you stride out too early, all your power is gone. That's what's happened to Vasquez. I think he's so eager to deliver the ball to home.
Take a look at Vizquel. And that line single into right field. That was on an 0-2 pitch, and Vizquel, not really a power hitter, but a power hitter. I mean, that was in the power zone from the left side. That's not a good 0-2 pitch.
Now the count 1-0 on Matt Lawton. Again, runners on the corners with 1 out. Indians already up 4-0. Now it's 2-0. Is he afraid to put the ball over the plate, or
No,
inability
I don't think
right
he's
now?
afraid. He is just so out of whack. And, you know, you can go to the video. You can break down your mechanics, anything you want to do. But there's a couple very simple exercises. And one of them is be like if you were in your hotel room standing in front of your mirror and you lift up, in Javi's case, your left leg, and you just lift that up and see how long you can hold your balance. And if you can hold your balance back over that rubber, you'll give yourself enough time to get your arm in the right position.
What about just taking one pitch? You know, the fastball's not working right now. The fastball is, you talk about the arm angle. Go ahead.
See, he's not getting back towards second base enough. He's way out in front. You would relate to that as a hitter from striding out too early.
That's the worst thing a hitter can do. But I was talking about maybe one pitch that, since the fastball is not really working for him, he doesn't have the right arm angle for that. How about just throwing nothing but breaking balls?
Well, you know, the breaking ball has hurt him, but you're right, Bobby. The best pitches he's thrown tonight have been the two slow curves to Casey Blake. So you got to begin to create out there when you're going through times like this.
The 3-2, Vizquel goes, line drive, base hit to right field. Garrett will score. Vizquel is going to third. He'll make it. It's an RBI single from Matt Lawton, and the Indians are pounding Javi Vasquez 5-0.
Again, you see Posada's target, and again, you see him have to reach back inside. It's like the old real estate theory. It pays to have real good stuff, but you also have to have some decent location. And he's leaving every pitch, for the most part, in the pitcher's lane, in the hitter's lane, middle of the plate.
Well, he's not going to leave any more pitches because Joe Torre is going to take out Vasquez. That is an early exit for Javi Vasquez. He thought better things were in store. Mel Stoudemire thought better things were in store, and he knew that he was 9-2 on this Yankee Stadium mound, but it was not to be tonight. Torre takes the ball, and he's going to get a rude reception as he comes off the mound. So Vasquez heads to the dugout, and Tanyan Sturtz will try to keep it right here at 5-0. Sturtz has done a good job in these situations, and he inherits a first and third situation with Victor Martinez coming to the plate. It'll be Sturtz against Martinez when we get back. Stay where you are. Javi Vasquez went an inning and a third. Significant. It is the shortest outing of his career.
That's what you call hitting rock bottom.
And now Mel Stoudemire has to think, what is next with Javi Vasquez? Well, what's next in this game is Tanyan Sturtz has to deal with Victor Martinez. Runners on the corners, one out. High fly ball, left center field. Tagging is Vizquel. Bernie makes the catch. The throw is to second. Vizquel will score. It's a sac fly for Victor Martinez, and the Indians have put up a pair of threes, one in the first and one in the second. It's 6-0 Cleveland.
They don't care what pitcher it is. If it's around the strike zone, they're swinging at it.
Well, they are top three in the American League in hits, and mentioned now that they've hit the 6-run total. They just about match the Yankees. Not in total runs, but in terms of runs, average runs per game.
Here's Travis Hafner. Travis Hafner, part of one of those trades that they could say helped both teams. Hafner came over from Texas, and the Indians sent Ryan Drees over to the Rangers, and he's been in one of their standouts in their rotation, a shaky rotation at that. And they've got such a great offense, there was really nothing to do with Travis Hafner. Lawton leads off first. The 1-0. There's a strike.
Hafner becomes he's a very dangerous hitter, as you well know, with 24 home runs, but at his weight, something you don't see from big guys like Travis Hafner. He has a very quick bat on the inside part of the zone. So even though he's big, he is able to get that bat head through the strike zone very quickly. He's won a batting title. I mean, he's one of two guys that's won a batting title in the minor leagues.
Tells you he's got fast hands.
For Cleveland. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to, you'd think a big guy, you can bust him inside. He can't get the bat around because he doesn't have the quickness, but Hafner has that quickness.
Another guy that played for Cleveland a few years ago was one of the quickest I'd seen in a long time, Albert Bell.
Oh, yeah.
Runner goes on 1-2. The pitch is outside. The throw to second is not in time. Matt Lawton with a stolen base.
Not much chance for Posada there. Lawton, as most stolen bases are off the pitcher. Watch, as soon as Sturtz leaves, picks up his foot, Matt Lawton is taken off. Canyon with that big delivery didn't give Jorge quite enough time to, and the pitch was in the dirt on top of that. Still made it close.
Two fouled away.
Hard to believe this is they only have 2 series of the Indians, the Yankees and the Indians, and is so accustomed to having this as a great rivalry, the Indians and the Yankees, over the years. Eric Wedge, their young manager. Buddy Bell, his bench coach, he says, right next to him, he said, I got the best job in baseball. He said he really likes Wedge. He said, I just look at him once in a while and say, good time to do this, good time to do that. There's no pressure on my shoulders.
Yeah. If it doesn't work, you go get a beer after the game, and he has to talk to the press.
2-2. Just stays alive as Posada couldn't hold on. Hafner presented the first sign of trouble in the first inning, bases loaded, and he hit a bullet into the right center field gap to clear the bases, a bases clearing triple. Nub slowly to the third base out of the mound. Sturtz fires, and a nice nimble play at first base by John Olerud for the final out of the inning. But not before the Indians score 3 more runs on 3 hits, no errors, and 1 man left on base. A nice play by Sturtz, and Olerud kept it from getting worse. We go to the bottom of the second, 6-0 Cleveland. Joe Torre staring at a 6-run deficit as we head to the bottom of the second inning. He has 4, 5, and 6 in his order against Jake Westbrook. Alex Rodriguez will start it off, and he had the best road trip of any Yankee, finishing up with 3 hits on Saturday and 4 on Sunday. Now Alex has hit on the road very well this season, hitting .389 on the road since the All-Star break. And since the All-Star break at Yankee Stadium, .246. Lofted to right field. Jody Garrett is there. 1 down.
I was mentioning what a great rivalry this was over the years. My dad was not even a Yankee or an Indians fan, but back in the late 40s when the Indians were drawing 2.7 million people, that was unheard of then. He drove all the way down there to watch Reynolds and Rashi against Feller and Garcia doubleheader. They drew 80,000 people. I mean, these teams would hook up about 16, 18 times a year.
Biggest crowd I ever played with was at the old Cleveland Stadium. What was the name of that stadium?
Municipal
Stadium. It was on a doubleheader on the 4th of July. They had 80,000 people.
Well, the stadium was built
for football.
Well, actually, it was built in hopes of getting the 36 Olympics. And that's why it had that big circular shape to it.
And that was the Olympics that Berlin got.
The one, I think the hope was that, wasn't that the Jesse Owens Olympics?
Yes.
Yeah, and they were hoping that Cleveland would get them. That's why the stadium was built that way.
Well, since that time in the Renaissance there in downtown Cleveland, Jacobs Field is a beautiful ballpark and has really set the standards for what we see today in these new stadiums. Well, at this time, if you're a Yankee, you can either be a pessimist or an optimist. And but the Yankees come from behind wins this year. Well, they got 52 come from behind wins. They're still early in the game, so they're not out of it. You just got to make sure that when you go to the plate as a hitter, you're looking to do one thing, and that is to get on. The Yankees need base runners.
Let's see if they get one there. On the run is Lawton, and he makes the play beautifully over the head for the second out of the inning.
Boy, nice running catch. Matt Lawton read it perfectly. Matsui hit this ball hard. Gets a good jump on it. And then, of course, out in left field, the faster he runs and the ball keeps slicing back toward him, he timed it perfectly. Nice play.
So 2 away, and that'll bring up Posada. And there's a strike.
You talk about arm angles. Boy, does this guy, Jake Westbrook almost like a catcher. He gets that hand out of the glove and the arm up in the throwing position. Nice compact delivery. You're not going to see him reach too far back to second base, but you see him get it up and over the top. That's where he gets that good sinking action.
One of the things that also has helped Jake Westbrook, the fact that he has a good left side of the infield. You know, you've got to rely on it with that sinker ball. He's going to get a lot of ground balls. You got the multiple Gold Glove winner, Vizquel at short, Casey Blake at third. A veteran guy that is very solid. Ron Belliard also very steady at second base.
Cleveland is one of those teams that if you said give them Tom Gordon and Mariano Rivera, they might be right there.
They were right there one time.
Strike 3 right down the middle. Posada down looking, and he asked C.B. Buckner, wasn't that a little bit up? And Buckner said no. And Westbrook has retired 6 Yankees in a row. Let's head to the 3rd inning here at the stadium. It's 6-0 Tribe. Well, Joe Torre got to welcome back Jason Giambi, who headed to the ballpark after spending some time in Tampa rehabilitating. He met with the media before the game, and obviously the first question was, how do you feel?
Better. You know, I'm getting a lot better. You know, I still a little bit dizzy every now and then, but you know, I'm getting over that, and they see, you know, keep pushing through it. So, you know, my workouts have been tough, and you know, now I think, you know, over the next maybe, you know, 3 to 5 days, we're going to really see where I'm at. You know, at first I couldn't tell whether it was 105-degree heat, I was ready to fall down, or if you know, I was still a little sick, but you know, it's good to be back. It was exciting to see the guys. You know, the guys were great when I walked in the clubhouse, so I'm glad to be back in New York.
Well, the Yankees are just not depending on Giambi getting back, and that's probably the best way to approach it. If he does come back and he's able to play for them down the stretch and in the postseason, it's a bonus, but I don't think they're expecting it because he has a long road ahead of him to get his stamina back. He looks better, though. It looks like he has color in his face.
And if he does come back, I mean, I'm sure with Olerud at first base and Tony Clark on occasion, he would be the DH.
Talked to him today before the game. I saw him down in the tunnel area there, and he had that sparkle in his eye. You know, before he left here, he had the glassy eye look. You know, you could tell that he wasn't feeling well, but he's got that sparkle back. So the health is the first thing that you want to get back, and then you work on your timing after that.
But you can see why the guys in Oakland talked about him being a good teammate, because even with all he's been through, you seldom see Jason not in a good frame of mind. He's always very accommodating, got a smile on his face, easygoing.
And his teammates were thrilled to see him as well. He's been a very small part of this team this year. For the last couple of years, he's right in the middle of everything. Here's Ben Broussard, who fouls it away.
When Jason does get a chance, or it feels like his body is ready to play in a game, you know, the minor leagues now coming to a close, so he won't have a chance to really go down and swing the bat in live competition before he plays in a major league game.
Well, the Yankees have one of those rare regular doubleheaders next Monday because of a rainout. They have a makeup game. It'll be a straight doubleheader, and that's the kind of situation Joe Torre would like to get some additional players playing in, give some of the regulars a rest in one of the games.
Gary Sheffield getting a partial day off as the DH tonight.
Well, they were talking about Sheffield's ankle. One of the things that you look for and the severity of a injury such as that is the swelling in the ankle, and the ankle did not swell up that much, so that meant that the injury wasn't as severe as it could have been. Take a look back at that play at third base where he jammed that ankle when he had to come back, and that's when that left ankle was jammed. But Gene Monahan out there quickly. Of course, they took him in and got some ice on that ankle, kept the swelling down. And the healing time is a lot quicker.
That third base at Sky Dome has not been kind to the Yankees the last couple of years. Opening night last year, Derek Jeter separated his shoulder, dislocated his shoulder. That one's popped up. Third base side. A-Rod leans in and can't make the play. They'll do it again with a 3-2 count.
A lot of effort here, but also a lot of competition in that area.
Runner goes. 3-2 is outside. No throw needed as Broussard works a walk, so 2 straight walks issued here by Tanyan Sturtz, and the Indians again threatening. Runners on first and second, nobody out.
No surprise to see Broussard take a pitch that close. When you look at his eyes when he's hit, this guy has the vision of a fighter pilot. So it's probably not hard for him to pick up where that ball is, in or out of the strike zone.
Well, we told you before about all the Yankees come from behind victories this year. Well, you have to stop the other team from scoring. So it would be a good idea if they could shut him down right here. And the first pitch to Belliard is way outside 1-0.
You know, something that could really pose a problem for the Indians for 2005, Belliard, if he's on the last year of a contract, he's going to require a lot of money. Omar Vizquel's on the last year of a contract.
Fly ball to right field. Lofton comes on. He makes the catch.
Now there's a possibility that they could lose both of those guys up the middle. 2 sure-handed guys at second base and shortstop.
And right now, amazingly enough, Vizquel's been there for so long and won all those Gold Gloves. Talking to some Cleveland people today, and Belliard will be their first choice to keep because they have Johnny Peralta down at AAA. And they want him to come up and play shortstop. There's Jody Garrett. And there's a strike. Now they'd like to keep Vizquel, but he's due to make $6 or $7 million on an option year next year. That's not going to happen. They'll probably offer him anywhere from 2 to 3. But first they want to see if Belliard will accept what they offer him before he goes to arbitration. So one of those 2 will be kept, and a kid will play either second or third as they try to spend money on pitching. The 0-1. There's a strike. And the count 0-2. Six 0. The Indians lead the Yankees. We're in the top of the 3rd inning here at Yankee Stadium. And the 0-2. Missed outside. The count 1-2. Jody Garrett batting 9th today, and if you followed the Indians last year, he was the number 3 or 4 hitter in their lineup, so that's how deep their lineup has become, and he's also taken a little baby step backward.
I actually think he hit in every spot in the lineup last year. for wedge in these Indians. But he also has a lot of speed, so you got him down ninth with Coco Crisp leading off, so you got back-to-back speed. And one of the things that if you take a look and you try to dissect the swing and where the hands are from Jody Garrett, there's not a smooth transition. There's a lot of movement in the swing.
Fly ball to Matsui. 2 down.
You know, he holds the hands up high, but he jerks the hands down and then tries to get the hands and the bat through the strike zone. A lot of times you see those guys that got the hands up high, it's really a smoother transition where they just bring the bat and the hand back into the hitting area.
It's almost like he has 2 motions rather than the 1.
Yeah, but a young hitter, he's got a lot of potential to be a great hitter. So I'm sure Eddie Murray has visited with him about that. And you don't change the style of those kids. You may be able to refine it a little bit.
Last year, Garrett had 22 home runs in 127 games. This is his 123rd game this year, and he has 9 home runs. Sometimes the league catches up in the 2nd or 3rd year, and you've got to make the adjustments back. Crisp has flied out to the outfield twice, once to center, once to left, and now he tries right field. That's a base hit. Casey Blake will round third. He'll try to score. The throw is cut off by Olerud. It's an RBI single for Coco Crisp, and the Indians lead the Yankees 7-0.
Fourth game in a row, the Yankees are getting pummeled in their own stadium. The Anaheim Angels came in, did it 3 times. We talked before the game about what an advantage it is now for the Yankees to come back home and play some of the weaker teams. Cleveland not one of those. They've had a great year. They got some good young ball players, and they do it with hitting. You have to stop their offense, and that's probably the one thing that's worrying Joe Torre more than anything, even with a 4-game lead, is the starting pitching.
That's drilled to right field. Kenny Lofton back. It's over his head and up against the wall. Broussard scores. Here comes Coco Crisp. He'll score. It's a 2-run double by Vizquel, and the Indians lead 9-0.
We mentioned Lofton playing right field with the injury to Sheffield, and the ball has a different spin out there, Bobby. And you can tell Lofton not comfortable out there, trying to adjust to it. As Joe Torre had said earlier, we got to put him out there a few times and find out if he can play right field. He certainly misplayed that one.
Yeah, he didn't get the read off the bat.
Lawton flips to Sturtz, and Sturtz flips to Olerud to finally end the inning. But another inning where the Indians score 3. That's a fence that you do not want to build. So the Indians 3 runs on 2 hits, 2 walks, no errors, and 1 man left on base. We go to the bottom of the 3rd inning. It's 9-0. Well, the Yankees certainly have a big mountain to climb right now. They are down 9-0. And Olerud has worked the count 1-1, leading off the bottom of the 3rd. Kitty mentioned that Anaheim series. The Yankees have now been outscored 29-8 in their last 5 home games.
Yeah, that's the most alarming thing. I mean, it's fun being around New York and following the Yankee franchise because there's such passion from the fans. And of course, when they had that 10-game lead, now it's dwindled. It's everywhere you turn. Well, what's wrong with the Yankees? Well, part of what's wrong with the Yankees is that the Red Sox have been playing good ball, but the other part, that they've been mediocre here in the last 3 weeks, is the starting pitching. There again is that late movement from Westbrook. You're going to see a lot of calls like that because C.B. Buckner, see, the hitter doesn't see that late movement. He's about 6 feet ahead of the umpire. And even though that ball looked low, there you see from our low 3rd shot, even though when Martinez caught it, it looked low, it went across the plate knee high.
3rd strikeout for Westbrook, and the pitch to Cairo's outside 1-0.
And again, the Yankees starting pitchers, it's not that they're not capable. I mean, everybody says the Yankees need more pitch. It's not that they need different pitchers. They need the pitchers they have to pitch better.
Well, any thoughts about adding a pitcher through the waiver wire? Well, today's the last day you can acquire somebody and put them on the postseason roster. This is August 31st. After this, you can acquire somebody, obviously, that can pitch for you down the stretch, but they cannot help you in October. Grounded over the mound. Charging is Vizquel. Fields fires. Pretty play by the 9-time Gold Glove winner.
Yeah, that play made with a lot of confidence by a veteran who knew he had just enough time. Didn't rush it. Looks the ball right into his glove. Knows he's got enough time to just make a decent throw and get him by a half a step.
You know what? You can always tell a good infielder, and Vizquel, the 9-time Gold Glover, by the way the glove fits on their hand. I mean, it's almost like it's part of their own hand. That glove is, there's no extension on the glove. When I played shortstop, I had the glove out at my fingertips, and I didn't hold the glove like that because I couldn't. I mean, it just didn't feel good to me.
Grounded to third. Blake is right there. Fires across the diamond, and that'll do it. And the first Yankees have gone down in order, all 9. 1-2-3, 1-2-3, 1-2-3. We go to the fourth, 9-0 Indians. We go to the top of the fourth inning here at Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. Indians lead the Yankees 9-0. First game of an 11-game homestand for the Yankees and a first game of a 3-game set against the Indians. And the first pitch to Victor Martinez is low. Now the Indians have lost 8 straight games here at Yankee Stadium. They have not beaten the Yankees at the stadium since June of 2001. And they have a robust 9-0 lead. Count 2-0.
The other alarming thing when you look at the Yankees and you say we said before the game, you ought to feel good about having a 4.5 game lead going into September. But on a night like tonight, when your pitching isn't doing well, you look bad.
Martinez with a high fly ball to right. Lofton's there, one away.
And the other thing is the example of Kenny Lofton in the lad misplaying that ball. He's not accustomed to playing right field, but that's probably the one thing this year that you've seen with the Yankees, not necessarily errors, but a lot of plays that should be made. But when you see the Anaheim Angels come in here and we see Yankee teams of the past, that's what really is going to be an important factor in postseason play, not giving the other team extra outs.
Here's Travis Hafner against Tanyan Sturtz. Swing and a miss. Now, if you joined us late, Javier Vasquez started, and he got knocked out early. And here's the play that Jim was talking about last inning. Omar Vizquel, a 2-run double over the head of Lofton, playing right field.
Well, you can see that he did not read it well off the bat because he started straight across going towards center field, and he had to try to back up because the ball was hit a little bit harder. And that's when he picked it up out there. It was a little bit too late to catch up with it.
Yeah, even when Kenny Lofton was winning Gold Gloves, he did it with his speed. He never ran great routes. In other words, if you put Bubba Crosby in center field or anywhere, he probably runs the best routes of any of the Yankee outfielders. And by route, you mean as soon as that ball's hit, Bobby, you know from playing the outfield, some guys have a knack of just being able to go right to the ball. And in Kenny's case, he might run a little zigzag, but in years past, he had the speed to make up for it.
Bubba back on the team. The Yankees have him on the roster so that they could decide whether or not to carry him for the postseason.
And granted, playing center field, if you've got speed, that's the easiest outfield position for a guy to play because you get the read off the bat as good as anybody. If you're on the corners, you know you always got the ball either slicing away from you or hit a line drive right at your head. You don't pick the ball off the bat as well as you do at center field. Yeah, if you've got speed in center field, man, you can run down a lot of mistakes, especially if you've got a spacious outfield.
Hafner with a 3-run triple in the first inning. He's 1 for 2, and now he's 1 for 3 as he goes down on strikes. Let's take a look at the Aflac trivia question here in the top of the fourth inning. Duck will bring in the question in just a moment. There he is. Who are the only two pitchers in the last 20 years to win at least 10 home games in their first season with the Yankees? Javi Vasquez was going for his 10th tonight. That's not going to happen. He left the game after an inning and a third.
Boomer's probably one of them. Many games has he won at Yankee Stadium?
But David Cohn being the other.
Might be.
Count 1-1 on Casey Blake. Casey Blake might not have the third base job next year if everything goes according to plan for the Indians, because they have signed Aaron Boone to play third base. And Aaron Boone thought he'd be able to come back this year toward the end of the year, but the knee has not responded as well and as quickly as they thought. But he should be 100% by spring training, and they project him as their starting third baseman. Blake will kind of be a utility sort of player as he hits one deep to right field. Lofton back on the track, and he makes a nice play up against the wall to rob Blake of an extra base hit. That's a nice play by Kenny Lofton in his foreign position of right field. So the Indians go down in order for the first time tonight. We go to the bottom of the fourth inning. It's the Indians 9, Yankees nothing. Well, Jake Westbrook has been perfect through three. Bernie Williams leads off, and the first pitch is outside. Westbrook with 3 strikeouts over the first 3 innings. Matsui came the closest to a hit. A nice running play by Matt Lawton in left center. Bernie Williams grounds one to first. Broussard right there. He beats Williams to the bag. 1 away. Let's take a look at the Aflac trivia question and the subsequent answer. The question regards 10-game winners at Yankee Stadium. Who are the only 2 pitchers in the last 20 years to win at least 10 home games in their first season with the Yankees? We guess Boomer and David Cohn. Let's see what the winners are. Well, on both, Rick Rhoden and Mike Messina.
Rick Rhoden.
Good golfer, great hitter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a good all-around athlete.
I'll vouch for that. He took me deep on opening day in 1982. He was pitching for the Pirates.
Yeah, what was the pitch? Fastball?
Yeah, pitcher hitting, right? We were down a bunch anyway.
You could have thrown him a curveball.
Right.
Well, he hit so well that Billy Martin actually used him as the DH once.
Oh, yeah.
238 lifetime hitter, 9 home runs, and then that 87 season he was 16-10 with the Yanks.
You think he hit you well? You ought to see him hit the golf ball.
Oh, I know. I've seen him. Rick is usually the leading money winner on that celebrity golf tour.
Yeah, Celebrity Players Tour.
Grounded to short. Vizquel. 2 away.
Well, maybe this will help the Yankees a little bit with their hits and their runs. Joe Torre's sister, Ray, who is one of my favorite people, had surgery yesterday and said one of the New York hospitals. I know she's watching the Yankee telecast right now and watching their Yankees. She's a huge Yankee fan. Our best wishes for her to get well and get well quick. And we'll see you back out the stadium pretty soon, Ray.
There's a strike. Line to left field. Lawton on the run. He will not get there. It dunks in for a base hit. Sheffield goes for 2. He'll get it. So the Yankees finally get a base runner after the first 11 go down in a row, and Gary Sheffield doubles.
Thank you, Ray.
Well, his first at bat, he actually hit the ball better than that. He's a guy that even a good sinker ball pitcher, like the one thing about Sheffield, and that where the numbers don't tell you the whole story with all players, he can hit good pitching. You know, here's a guy who's an all-star pitcher working on a perfect game, had balls sinking, ground balls, and Sheffield's hit 2 line drives off him.
Yeah, that's the first hit for the Yankees, but You take a look at when Sheffield swung the bat there. The lead foot is that left ankle, and he twisted around on that. To do that ankle's got to be in pretty good shape.
And the pitch to A-Rod's a strike.
Take a look at it. The front ankle. And watch it twist around there. If it's sore and tender, you're not able to do that. That's the plant foot.
He's had some month of August, Gary Sheffield, and so has A-Rod at .304. 5 homers and 11 runs batted in. Gary's hit the whole year. Yankees down 9-0. We're in the bottom of the 4th inning. Sheffield at second with 2 men out. Count 2-2. And the 2-2. Swing and a miss on a breaking ball diving down and away, and that'll do it for the Yankees in the 4th. No run to hit, no errors, and 1 man left on base. We played 4 at the stadium. Indians lead the Yankees 9-0. You are watching Yes. And here at Yankee Stadium, top of the 5th inning, the Indians lead the Yankees 9-0. And the pitch to Broussard's a strike. That evens up the count at 1-1. Tanyan Sturt's on in relief of Javier Vasquez, who lasted just an inning and a third. Shaky from the start. Everything was up in the zone and right over the plate.
Talking last inning about the fun part of following the Yankee franchise, one of the many enjoyable things is the passion of the fans around the city. Of course, there's a lot of concern right now.
Broussard powers one into the gap, and that's 1 hop over the wall into Monument Park. So a leadoff ground rule double for Ben Broussard.
Hits just keep on coming, and the takes the ball to the opposite field with some power. The things that's a real gut check right now for players is it's understandable for fans that are passionate about their team to get, to kind of start to shake and vibrate and get worried and excited. But the reason I don't think you'll see a lot of panic among the players is that
Belliard powers one to left field, and that's over the head of Matsui. 1 hop up against the wall. Broussard will score, and Belliard coasts into second with another double for him. It's an RBI, and the Indians 10, Yankees nothing.
Yeah, this keeps up. It's one of those games, if you're Joe Torre and the game's over, you just say, we didn't even play this game. Forget about it. Because they're either walking people or not making good pitchers pitches, and the Indians are on every pitch. They're putting on quite a display.
These balls are not just looping line drives. I mean, these are like rocket line drives.
Scalded.
The outfielders have no chance of catching up with them.
Jody Garrett with a high fly ball to right field. Kenny Lofton comes in. He'll make the play. And Belliard heads back to second.
But again, back to the gut check for the players is that, the one thing, if you begin to get shaky and nervous as a player, it means you don't really enjoy competition. You have to be willing to compete. And that's why in 162 games, as much as ever, I've talked to some fans in the last couple of days. They say, boy, the Red Sox got some kind of team, and they're really playing good baseball. Well, they are, and the Yankees are still 3.5 games ahead, so they must have a pretty good team right there. So the key for a player, and it's an advantage having a guy like Joe at the helm, is you don't panic. You're not afraid of competition.
Now let me ask you this, Jim. Obviously the players don't panic because the Yankees have been there and done that. But if you're looking at the Yankees objectively and you see how their starting pitching has been, is there a legitimate reason to panic?
I don't think there's a legitimate reason to panic. I mean, unless you're going to change the whole staff. What you just hope is that, you work hard and hope that the pitchers start to pitch the way they're capable of. I mean, if they don't, and they don't pitch well during September, and the Red Sox come out and win, then you just say, well, they were a better team. You didn't deserve to win. You didn't pitch well enough.
I would say there's got to be some concern simply because Joe has said all along, since he's been here in the Yankee uniform, that the club is going to go as far as the pitching staff is going to take them, and the pitching has just been a little bit inconsistent. What the Yankee starters went 13 games without ever getting a win, I think it was, and of course Messina's had problems, arm problems, and Kevin Brown with his back problems. The guy now that you count on to win a ball game for you is El Duque.
Yep.
He's become the #1 guy, but Messina looks a whole lot better, especially at his last outing. And Kevin Brown, so there's 3 or 4 guys there, and you know that Vasquez is he's going to find it before this season's over with. I mean, he's just too good not to. Could just be one little thing. So
see what the Indians have done with runners in scoring position tonight. Have another one scoring position right now.
Hey, you really find out what kind of team you have. I mean, to me, the most enjoyable and satisfying year I ever had in baseball was September of 1967. The Red Sox ended up winning the pennant that year. They call it the year of the impossible dream, and it was like a 30-day World Series. Every team, there were 4 teams that had a chance to win from September 1 on.
Coco Crisp with a deep fly ball to right center field. Lofton on the track, looking up. See ya. A 2-run home run for Coco Crisp, and the Indians are pounding the Yankees. It is now 12-0. And Mel on the phone to see if C.J. Nitkowski is ready.
well, Coco Crisp, the leadoff hitter, he also has power. And the thing that has helped Coco Crisp is when they got rid of Milton Bradley. It opened up a spot for him. If Bradley was still here, he wouldn't have a chance to be playing right now. He's a little tall and wiry and pretty strong. Got the right name for baseball. Coco Crisp. CC.
Coco LeBoy. Remember Coco LeBoy
Sure.
with the Blue Jays? Was it the Blue Jays or the Expos?
That's some poker hand right there. Count 1-1. His real name is Covelli, and his grandmother called him Co, and that somehow morphed into Coco, and that's where we get Coco Crisp. And you'll see a CC tomorrow with Sabathia starting against El Duque. Omar Vizquel, there's CC. CC stands for Karsten Charles or Crooked Cap.
Both.
Both. Yeah, right.
Yankees will see a couple lefties last 2 games this series.
The Yankees have had their best success against left-handed pitchers.
Got spoiled early in the year here with the noise at the stadium. It's about 4 games in a row now. It's been awfully quiet.
And there are a lot of people in this yard tonight, and they have nothing to cheer about.
El Duque will start for the Yankees tomorrow night versus the left-hander CC Sabathia.
2-2. Lofted into left center field. Vizquel is 4 for 4. Picks himself up a single, 3 singles, and a double.
Might be going after Rennie. Does Rennie Stennett still have the record? Rennie Stennett and Gutierrez with 7 hits in a game. That's really not that bad a pitch. Vizquel goes down and gets it.
And then serves it into left center field, and that will be the last pitch that Tanyan Sturtz throws. So Tanyan Sturtz's night is done, and C.J. Nitkowski's night has just begun. Well, it has not been a great evening for the Yankees and their fans so far. We're in the top of the 5th inning with 1 out, runner on first base, and the Yankees have their 3rd pitcher in the game. It's C.J. Nitkowski, and they trail 12-0. So Nitkowski, you see his numbers with the Braves and the Yankees, will deal him Matt Lawton. It was feast or famine for CJ in Toronto. He came in and struck out Carlos Delgado twice. But one time he didn't. He gave up a big 3-run home run to Delgado.
Looks like the plan here is see if C.J. Nitkowski can get out of this inning and then bring Esteban Loaiza in, which is a perfect situation for a guy who's really scuffling to see if you can string a few innings together and build your confidence up. Perfect spot. And Loaiza heating up.
Popped up, shallow right. Going to be a tough play for Lofton on the run. He makes it for the second out of the inning. Almost overran that ball.
Well, a lot of times, you have to make a long run like that, and if you're not running on your tiptoes, you're running on your heels a little bit. You get those eyes popping up and down. That almost popped out of his glove. Sometimes you run a long ways, and all of a sudden you stick the glove up in front of your eyes, and you lose the ball. You lose the ball momentarily. That may have been what happened to him.
Need a little pine tar in the pocket of that glove. Get that ball to stick in there.
Some of that Fred Biletnikoff stuff, huh?
Now, Bobby, you made the transition from center to right. How long did it take you to feel comfortable?
Well, I mean, I don't think I ever was uncomfortable, to tell you the truth. I played more left field here at Yankee Stadium than I did right field, but of course, as I was talking earlier, center field is the easiest place to play in the outfield at Yankee Stadium. Left field, you can have some problems positioning yourself there, but the thing that you gotta really adjust to on both corners we talked about earlier is the ball slicing away from you. Especially from the right-handed hitter, if he hits one out in the right field, it's basically going to be slicing away from Kenny Lofton. The opposite side to the left field of Matsui. So those are the things that are the differences in playing center field when you're playing the two corner.
Way outside, the count 3-0.
Well, a couple of things here at Yankee Stadium, especially when the ball is rolling down the corner, either in left field or right field. You see Hafter waiting on deck. Is that along the side there, I mean, you get a lot of wicked hops. If that ball gets by you, it will roll for a long, long time and probably end up being an inside the park home run.
Victor Martinez works a walk. And that brings up another lefty, Travis Hafner. And that's really the reason that Nitkowski pitched around Martinez.
The designated hitter, Travis
Hafner with a bases loaded triple in the first inning. Rounded back to the mound in the second, struck out in the fourth. Nitkowski deals. Breaking ball for a strike in the count 0-1.
Talking about Vizquel with 4 hits already. Rennie Stennett, I happened to be there that game watching the Cubs and the Pirates flying in on a day off before a start with the White Sox. He got 7. In the American League, there are 6 players, or many players, that have gotten 6 hits in a 9-inning game. Never 7, so Vizquel's got a shot at it.
He could bunt twice and get 6 hits.
I wouldn't advise that if I were him with his team up 12-0.
May get 8 hits. One by the Yankees.
Yeah, right.
Swing and a miss in the count 1-2. First and second, 2 outs. We're in the top of the 5th inning, and the Indians lead the Yankees 12-0. Felix Heredia was in the Yankee clubhouse today, and He'll be activated tomorrow. He's been working down in the minor league system with Billy Connors to try to straighten out some of his flaws. And Joe Torre still thinks Heredia is going to help him. He said, I believe in Heredia. He said, I used him in the World Series last year. I don't use people in the World Series unless I believe in them.
Steve Carsey also will be activated.
Roster expands to as much as 40 tomorrow. All around baseball on September 1st. The 2-2. Way outside, and the count 3-2.
That's a day late as far as Joe's concerned. Tonight's the kind of game you wish the rosters were expanded and you could run some of the new pitchers in there. And you know, here's a case of Nitkowski. I mean, he's just out there to try to get a couple hitters out and still be fresh to maybe have to get out to some left-hand hitters tomorrow. He's making it a little tough on himself.
Now Loaiza is taking a seat in the bullpen. I don't know if that means he shut it down or he's done warming. The 3-2, runners go. Slow roller, first base side. And that's going to roll fair, and it's a base hit. Nitkowski arguing with C.B. Buckner, but I don't know what the argument could be. The ball was fouled and kicked fair. So the bases are loaded, and if it can go wrong tonight, it will.
Yeah, that's just a little mental mistake there. If you're C.J. Nitkowski right there when that ball's foul, you got to get over there and glove it and keep it foul. We've seen that happen a couple of times this year. It was an embarrassing situation for Hideki Matsui. It happened to him earlier. With the new layout of the playing field, it doesn't slope away as much, so it can easily roll back the other way. And an infielder or a pitcher's job is, as soon as that ball is foul, you get your glove over there and pick it up and throw it or kick it, whatever you want to do, more into foul territory.
Here's Casey Blake with the bases loaded with Indians. There's a strike.
And the reason Olerud had to pick it up is because Vizquel was coming around third.
Yeah.
I mean, he could have, you know, if Vizquel had been there, he could have let the ball roll a little bit longer. Maybe it would have rolled back foul. But he had to pick it up because Vizquel would have scored from third.
Heads up base running by Travis Hafner to hustle down the first base. Vizquel at third, Victor Martinez at second, and Travis Hafner is over at first. 12-0 Indians are in the top of the fifth. Upstairs, and the count 1-2. Blake's 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. Ninth batter to come to the plate tonight in this inning. Nitkowski steps off the rubber. And again he steps off the rubber.
Got more pitches than I thought. I thought he just had sinker to curve. But I don't know if he might get the right sign and he doesn't like the location. But
Nitkowski took 2 steps toward the Yankee dugout, which will not curry favor with C.B. Buckner in the count 2-2. And the count now full, so that releases the base runners.
Bobby, these are the games that, even though you're getting thumped, these are the games I enjoyed pitching to Thurman. Because right now he wouldn't even give signs. He'd just wave to you. Yeah. Throw it in here, take your chances. They might hit it at somebody. Nothing else is working. Why make it more complicated?
Runners go, the 3-2. He walked them. And it's 13-0 Indians as Vizquel will come on to score.
You hope over 162 games you don't play many like this, maybe one. But
kidding.
But it's the kind of game, unless things change. I know Joe Torre would probably just tell everybody, hey, forget we played this. We got a 7 o'clock game tomorrow and show up then.
Alonso gets back up. Yeah, like you said, we've seen just about everything so far, including that bases loaded walk. It just didn't seem like he was comfortable in throwing whatever pitch that Posada was calling for.
Yeah,
and he couldn't make up his mind. You know, his mind was racing and he wasn't concentrating on what pitch he was going to throw.
Little paralysis from analysis.
Maybe.
Lined into right center field. It's going to be more runs. A base hit. It drops in. Cut off by Lofton. 2-run score. Moving to third is Blake. It's a 2-run single for Ben Broussard. And the Indians lead the Yankees 15-0.
Well, the game within the game that C.J. Nitkowski puts a little more pressure on himself is that you mentioned Felix Heredia. He's trying to look good in these situations and get left-hand hitters out to keep that spot as a lefty against lefty specialist, and he's having a tough inning right now to keep that job.
This game has the feel of a positional player pitching at some point. Pitches outside the belly yard to count 1-0. Not the way the Yankees wanted to start their 11-game homestand. The 1-0. There's a strike, 1-1.
This has got we got to be digging into the record books. This might be one of the all-time drubbings the Yankees have ever had on their home field.
Well, the worst shutout loss in Yankee history is 15-0. They did it in 1907 and 1950.
Really?
Both time against the White Sox. So right now we're at that, and there's still half a game to go. Yankees could also score, so. The 15 runs against the Yankees is a season high for this year. Previously, 13 runs was the season high. The 1-2. Swung on and missed, and Belliard down on strikes. And the inning mercifully ends. 6 runs on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hits. No errors and 2 men left on base. At the end of 4 1/2, we're halfway through. 15-0 Tribe. Hideki Matsui leads off the bottom of the 5th inning, and he takes a pitch low from Jake Westbrook to count 1-0. Pitch is high, 2-0.
It's going to be Jake Westbrook's toughest inning.
He's got to get these 3 outs to get the win or qualify for the win. There's a strike.
Because he's out there saying right now, the only thing I could do is mess this game up. You got a 15-0 lead, and you got to get 5 innings to get the win.
And Matsui serves one over the head of Casey Blake down the left field line. Matsui has himself a leadoff double here in the 5th. Second base hit for the Yankees.
Boy, good movement on that pitch. Man, that thing did have some good late sink on it, and Hideki just takes it the other way.
A lot of times you'll see left-handers of that sinker moving down and away. They're trying to get out in front, or are out in front, and then roll those hands over, and you get that little ground ball to the right side. Nice piece of hitting by Matsui.
Here's Posada, and the pitch is low. Jake Westbrook was once a Yankee, and what a trade made by Yankee general manager Brian Cashman. The Yankees were completely done with Hideki Irabu. They wanted nothing to do with him, and they sent him to Montreal. Slow roller, left side of the mound, knocked down by Westbrook, knocked down again, E1. Oh, and that's bad base running by Matsui. When you're down 15 runs.
Ooh. That's when you wish there was a trap door out there you could just hide in.
That is not pretty.
Well, you're a Yankee fan. Very little has been tonight.
You were talking about you've seen just about everything tonight.
Yeah.
Westbrook having problems picking the ball up, but Matsui got caught off the second base pad. You don't normally see that from Matsui. Very fundamentally sound, but I think he thought, well, where do I go? But he just got too far, and he didn't read it right. And it certainly doesn't look good at 15-0.
And he knows that. I mean, at 15, you know, there's no reason even to be more than 4 feet off the bag.
And that scored an E1, allowing the runner to reach first. And then Matsui's out 1-4. Anyway, the way Westbrook made it to the Yankees sent Orabu to the Expos for Jake Westbrook, Ted Lilly, and Christian Parker. 2 All-Stars from the 2004 American League All-Star team were in that trade. And Christian Parker actually started for the Yankees, and they liked his stuff, and he hurt his arm. He's never been heard from again. So that was a pretty good trade, getting rid of a pitcher that you really didn't want. The 2-1. Driven down the left field line and foul. Then he ended up departing the Yankees in another very good trade for the Yankees. The Yankees sent Westbrook and Ricky Leday to the Indians for David Justice.
Got him a World Series. David Justice was the MVP for the, was he 2/3 of a year he was here? A little over half a year?
Check swing right back to Westbrook. There's one. Not in time.
Boy, check the quickness of Vizquel at shortstop. And then watch Broussard try to sell it to the umpire over there. He was probably about a half a foot off the bag when Vizquel got it over there. But you can see the quickness of Vizquel. He almost turned that double play when it didn't look like he had a chance. The only other guy that I used to see hold that glove, you know, the glove looks like it's pasted onto the hand, was Mark Belanger, you know, from the Baltimore Orioles.
And Joe Morgan at second.
Yes, Joe had a real small glove, and the glove just looked like it was part of his hand.
I've seen some of the other Gold Glove winners that actually have that on their glove. I don't see it on Omar's glove.
They get the gold label. He has the red one. The 2-0. There's a strike. He's got 7 to catch up with Kitty, though.
he's got to work a little harder to get his.
That's served into right field, a base hit for Miguel Cairo. Olrud will advance to second, and Cairo's on with a 2-out single.
Boy, he's having a terrific all-around year. You lose sight of things like that when your team's getting thumped 15-0, but that Cairo's been so consistent all year long.
And the pitch to Lofton is a strike.
I would think if the Yankees don't make a little noise here that Joe will take this opportunity to run Bubba Crosby in there. And of course, nowadays you don't carry that many extra men, but whatever they have, he'll give him a chance to play, give some of his regulars. It looks like Bubba's getting loose.
Strike to Lofton. Lofton 7 for his last 16. Once he got that 2000th hit in the final game in Cleveland, a lot of pressure was taken off his shoulders and really started to swing the bat pretty well again. Got a nice ovation from the crowd at Jacobs Field. And the previous night in game 2 of that series, he was robbed by each of the Indian outfielders.
Jake Westbrook out there saying, please, just let me get one more out.
2-2. And the count 3-2. One pitch away from loading the bases. Bernie Williams, he of the 10 career grand slams, is on deck. Served into left field. Matt Lawton's there, and he'll put it away for the final out of the inning. So Westbrook gets the out that he wanted. Yankees get two hits, one error, and they lead 2. We played 5 here at the stadium. It's 15-0 Cleveland. New left fielder Bubba Crosby comes in. So that means Hideki Matsui's night is over, and so is Posada's. You see John Flaherty has that ball go by him. He's the new Yankee catcher. C.J. Nitkowski still out there. He faces Jody Garrett. And the pitch is outside.
This game has the makings of a game that I remember back in when I was with the Phillies, and we would battle it out with the Pittsburgh Pirates every year for the division title. And this was back in '78. You remember Chuck Tanner managed the A's and the Pirates and the White Sox, and I mean, he was just the most positive manager that I ever played for. And we had we beat the Buccos the first 2 games of the series. I want to say that the middle game was like 10-1, and now they're 9 back. I mean, they're under 500. And after the game, Chuck told the media, he said, "I like our position. I really like where we're at." And you know, Larry Bowen knew that I played for Chuck and had a lot of admiration for him. He said, "What in the world is wrong with your buddy? I mean, what's he thinking about?" I said, "You know, don't sell him short." I said, "He's always building up his ball club." Well, I think that put him 9.5 back. We finished the season with the Pirates in Pittsburgh, and we had to win the game on Saturday to win the division by 1.5 games. Wow. So every day I was saying to Bo, because Bo was getting quieter by the night, I said, "Hey, Bo, just keep going out there and play. Don't worry about what he says." Yeah, we won 15-4 and 10-1. And I think that put the lead at maybe 9. And then the Buccos won the last one, and they went on a tear. But I mean, that's just some of the psychology involved in managing a ball club. When you see a game like this played by a team that you're not accustomed to seeing play this way.
And that ball gets through the legs of Flaherty, but the runner stays put at first.
You know, Torres, he's the same way. I mean, he's as positive as anybody for a manager. He's a good player's manager, and I'm sure on the post-game show tonight with Susan Waldman, Fred Hickman, you know, he'll talk about Vasquez, and I'm sure he'll say, "Well, yeah, Vasquez had pretty good stuff, except the location wasn't there, and the arm angle maybe have dropped a little bit."
Ground ball to Jeter. There's one. That's all they'll get. And that brings up Omar Vizquel, who is 4 for 4.
I am eager to hear Joe's comments, because you remember when the Yankees pretty well had things wrapped up a few years ago, and they played a very, very poor game down in Tampa. And you know, the one thing that he'd be concerned about is the mistakes. Matsui usually doesn't make those kind of mistakes, but that's just inexcusable when, you know, you're down this many runs and make mistakes like that. And those are the kind of things that would irritate a manager. Series I was referring to after that series with the Pirates, they were 11.5 out, and we still had to beat them the second to the last day of the season to win the division.
Managers like a lot of times they like to read the body language of their players, you know, and see if they've either packed it in or if they're still trying, and whether they have their heads down or their heads up, and they have their head in the game. So a lot of that, you know, will be watched. I mean, that's what a lot of managers do. You know, they'll tell you, say, "Look, you know, you're going to have games like this, but you got to keep your head up, and tomorrow's a new game." And especially, you know, that sounds like an old cliche in baseball, but it's true. I mean, when you play 162 games, I mean, you're not going to play every game perfect.
Yeah, you have a meeting after the game tonight.
And there's another base hit for Omar Vizquel, who is 5 for 5. He'll also get an RBI out of this as Coco Crisp will score. It's an RBI double for Vizquel. The Indians lead 16-0, and Vizquel is 1 hit away from tying an American League record of 6 hits in 1 game. And he might have a couple more at-bats to do it.
I think they better keep that guy for next year.
That's sort of looks.
Yeah, he's getting him from the left side and the right side.
I'm sure if they thought they could afford him, they probably would. Now with Cleveland, you can see well hit sharply down the third base line.
I was saying, if you're Joe Torre after this game, you have a closed door meeting and get real serious and say, okay, guys, you know, over 162 games, you're going to have a game like this once in a while. Well, let's make sure it's only one.
Yeah.
Vizquel with his third 5-hit game in his career. Pitch to Lawton is upstairs, 1-1. Esteban Loaiza is pitch for pitch with Nitkowski, although his pitches are being thrown in the bullpen. Popped up, left field. Crosby's there. 2 down. The 16 runs that the Indians have on the board, the most runs allowed by the Yankees since July 31st of 2002 at Texas, when the Rangers scored 17 runs. A lot of crooked numbers on that board. And the pitch to Martinez is outside.
It's one of those games that you, after the game, say, what was a turning point in the game? And you say, as soon as the Indians bus arrived here, it was over.
(1-0). Hit sharply, backhanded beautifully by Jeter. He does a 360, fires to first, got him. That is an outstanding play by Derek Jeter on a bullet hit by Victor Martinez. But the Indians do score a run on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 man left on base. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning at Yankee Stadium. Indians 16, Yankees nothing. You're watching Yankees baseball on the Yes Network. Bottom of the 6th inning, it's 16-0 Indians. Bernie Williams leads off against Westbrook, and the pitch is high. Now, I mentioned that the Indians have lost 8 in a row at Yankee Stadium dating back to 2001. In their last 4 losses to the Yankees, the Indians scored a combined total of 16 runs, so they have matched that in 1 game. The 1-0. There's a strike.
Can you imagine how Cal Ripken Jr. must have felt? Now we're seeing something we just don't see here at Yankee Stadium with the Yankee Ball Club. What year was that? The Orioles lost about 19 in a row to start the season. I want to say it was about 88. Yeah, 88. I remember asking Cal, because he had that streak going in, and I said, you know, what's the toughest thing about keeping this thing? And he said, you know, when you go out in the field and your team gets behind early like this, it just takes so much heart out of a ball club. He went through that every day. Fortunately for the Yankee fans and their players, they maybe have a couple of these a year at most.
Wasn't that also the year he saw his dad get fired?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, early in the year.
Yeah. Popped up behind the plate. Victor Martinez gives it a look, runs out of room. A couple of changes for the Indians. They have a new third baseman, so Casey Blake's night is over. John McDonald takes over at third, and a new first baseman as they give Ben Broussard the rest of the night off. Josh Phelps.
Phelps they acquired from Toronto. McDonald is a product of Connecticut. He's always done well. I think he had about a 5-hit game coming in here a couple of years ago. With 5 straight hits.
Slow roller. Westbrook off the mound. And will tag Bernie on the way by, as Phelps kind of was sleeping there at first base, never got to the bag, 1 away.
Josh says, I'm a DH. I'm not used to this cover in the bag. Take it yourself. And Westbrook has to react quickly at the last minute. Decides to tag Bernie just before he gets to the bag.
Tagging's a lot easier than trying to beat him to the bag when you could step on the bag and get run over at the same time.
That play right there got me a sinking fastball, Bobby. Play you just saw Westbrook make.
Wilson pinch hits for Jeter.
In fact, it was the Indians. You remember Al Luplo? Remember that name? He played outfield for the Indians back in the 60s, late 50s, early 60s, and he was a running back at Michigan State. Had that high, like a running back who could pump his knees up. And I fielded a ball in the instruction league. I fielded a ball near the line like that, and instead of, as Westbrook did, tag him with the glove.
High fly ball left center field. Crisp is there. 2 down.
I, with the ball in my bare hand, reached over to tag him, and in fact, you can still see it in the back of my hand. It's a little bit of
metacarpal.
No, it's just a fractured bone there on the middle finger, the back of the wrist. And when I came back from that, all the pressure was on my other finger, and all of a sudden, when I threw the ball, started sinking. So. But when I saw Westbrook make that play, it brought back some memories of that.
Well, give me a hammer. I know some pictures I need to go take a hammer to their hand,
Yeah.
There's Gary Sheffield. He's hit a bullet to left that was caught by Lawton and then served a double down the left field line. Yankees first hit with 2 outs in the 4th. Another hard hit ball. McDonald is tested right away, makes the play, and that'll do it here in the 6th inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left. Let's go to the 7th. It's 16-0 Indians at the stadium. Esteban Loaiza makes his first relief appearance since September of 2001. And the first pitch to Hafner is fouled off.
That's only fitting. A double header on Labor Day, and town ball in the little towns like I grew up in, the baseball season opened with a doubleheader on Memorial Day and it closed with a doubleheader on Labor Day.
Always a tradition.
Yeah, and in the big leagues, you always played a doubleheader Memorial Day, 4th of July, and Labor Day.
And always on Sunday.
Yep.
With Monday off.
The days of free baseball have gone away, but they come back on Labor Day here at the stadium. The 1-1. 1-2.
Going to be anxious to see, Orlando Hernandez pitching against the same ball club tomorrow night here at the stadium. Orlando, a totally different type of pitcher than what they have seen tonight. Vasquez tried to sneak the fastball by them. They were ready for that, but El Duque changing speeds with guys that are very much what we see free swingers. I mean, guys that go up there that are ready to hit every time they step into the batter's box.
2-2. Just missed on the outside corner. 3-2.
Well, again, as bad as a team looks, like the Yankees look tonight when you don't pitch well, the advantage they have, as you mentioned, El Duque, every night they send a pitcher to the mound who is a quality big league pitcher. They're not all pitching that way right now, but you got Vasquez, Messina, and Brown all capable of pitching shutouts, as well as El Duque.
Well, the first batter Loaiza faces, he walks. We want to remind everybody this copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the New York Yankees and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the aforementioned New York Yankees. John McDonald with a ground ball to third. There's one. Not in time, back to first.
Well, that's an accomplishment in itself. John McDonald from New London, Connecticut, and often has his parents in attendance here. He went 2 for 2 a couple years ago in a game, and he's better than a 500 hitter here at Yankee Stadium. Beats out the return throw.
He also gained some level of infamy here in New York because he took out Derek Jeter on the 4th of July. Line drive base hit by Josh Phelps. Cutting over is Crosby. Keeps it to a single, and he took Jeter out of second base, hurt him. And Jeter looked like he had a serious injury, but he bounced back right away. And I remember McDonald was booed here at the stadium. Here's Ronnie Belliard. It has not been a pretty time for Esteban Loaiza in a Yankee uniform. He's been unable to get a win, and he's been demoted to the bullpen. Yankees had gone with a 6-man rotation for about 2 weeks so they could see more of Loaiza, and the more they saw, well, the quicker they moved him into the bullpen. That's where he is right now to work out some of his problems and see if he could pitch himself into a postseason role. See Steve Carsey in the middle there. He's going to be activated tomorrow, and he'll work out of the bullpen, take some of the load off the back three. Yankees are hoping.
You know, the splitter was the now pitch a few years ago. Mike Scott had it, and Jack Morris, I would say, in the 80s and the early 90s. And then, of course, Mariano comes along with a cutter, and that's what turned Loaiza's career around last year. But then I noticed the game he pitched the other night watching it in Toronto. His cutter has turned into kind of a slurve, breaks much bigger than a cutter. And then you overuse that breaking ball, and you lose the velocity on your fastball, and that also is part of what's happened to him.
Carlos Delgado, who was a former teammate of Loaiza, actually flew out to deep right field, I believe, and was running back past the pitcher's mound, and he told Loaiza, he said, "You better start throwing the fastball."
Did he really?
Belliard pops it up to left field. Crosby makes the catch. 2 down.
Well, that's the thing pitchers battle. The tendency is when you're getting knocked around, you lose confidence in your fastball. And again, I go back to the enjoyment of playing, of throwing to veteran catchers like Thurman Munson, and I had Johnny Roseboro and Earl Batty, and they would, in situations like that, they would make you throw the fastball, because even when you don't think it is and you don't have confidence, it's still the best pitch in the game.
Pitch to Jody Garrett is upstairs, 1-0.
And it's the old, if you don't use it, you lose it.
From a hitter standpoint, you know, if you've lost a little bit off your fastball, then there's not a whole lot of distinguishing, you know, between two pitches. And both of them coming at about the same speed.
Ooh. A lot of kids sitting down there, too. You get so worried with those line drives. And it looks as if everybody's okay.
Everybody's smiling. That's a good sign.
Well, they were looking for the baseball. They didn't realize the baseball bounced back out on the field.
Yankees trail 16-0 at Fenway Park. The Red Sox lead the Angels 10-1. And if both of those scores hold up, the Red Sox will have moved to within 3.5 games of the Yankees in the American League East.
Well, you like to see pennant races in September. You're going to see one. Already are.
Just when you least expect it. A couple of weeks ago, the Yankees were 10.5 games ahead. Strike 3 outside corner. Jody Garrett down looking. For the Indians in the 7th, no runs, a hit, no errors, and 2 men left at the end of 6.5 innings of play. Get up and stretch. Indians 16, Yankees nothing. Thank you, Fred. Westbrook deals to Alex Rodriguez, and the first pitch is swung on a miss. The Yankees trail 16-0 here in the bottom of the 7th inning at the stadium. Westbrook has been great. He's allowed just 3 hits to the Yankees, and there's 4. A base hit for Alex Rodriguez. And now that is not Matt Lawton. Now they've made a change. We'll try to get who that is.
I think Jody Garrett moved to left and put Ludwig in right. Ryan Ludwig, just recalled from Buffalo.
You got it. Full moon, and wacky things have happened here at the stadium as the Yankees are getting whacked 16-0 in the bottom of the 7th inning. Bubba Crosby, his first swing of the night, and a great catch by a fan leaning over the upper deck. He brought his glove, and he hauled it in.
Where's Rex Barney?
Give that man a contract.
Yeah, fan a contract.
That was a heck of a play. Serves it the other way again. Now, they called up Crosby today. He was activated today, and the reason they do that is they want to present a pool for the postseason. Because as long as you have people on the injured list, then you could present a person on the injured list as part of the 25-man roster for the postseason. So this doesn't mean that Bubba Crosby is going to be on the postseason roster, but it gives the Yankees the option with injured players on that roster of allowing him to stay there or move the injured player on. The same thing that's going to happen with Steve Karsay. Steve Karsay is going to be activated tomorrow off the DL, which means if he was on the DL and part of the 40-man roster as of August 31st, he can still be part of the playoff roster when that comes around. It just gives them a pool from which to choose.
Yeah, and Bubba could be a valuable guy postseason. I think he's the Yankees' best outfielder. He's their best center fielder. And he's got some speed. Sometimes, you remember when Homer Bush was here in those postseason games, just having a guy late in the game that can steal a base can be important.
And the 1-2. Strike three inside corner, and Crosby is down looking.
That late movement again on that Jake Westbrook fastball.
Boy, what a turnaround in his career. And you look at the difference in the, again, as Bobby said, the late movement. It fools the hitter.
You know, you were talking about the split-fingered fastball. It was Bruce Sutter, you know, who introduced the split finger years ago with the Chicago Cubs. And I think it was somewhat like Greg Maddux started this, you know, late movement on the inside part of the plate, get the hitters to give up. That's become a really effective pitch because the hitter sees it. It looks like it's going to be a ball, and the ball continues to move. And once you've made that split-second decision, you can't recover from it.
Economical outing for Westbrook. He's thrown just 81 pitches, and we're here in the 7th inning. John Flaherty, in his first at bat, he took over for Jorge Posada. And Jeremy Guthrie warming for the Indians. 1-1. Serve to right field. Backing up is Ludwig. He's there, and he'll put it away for the second out. Along with Jim Cott and Bobby Mercer, I'm Michael Kay, and you are watching Yankees baseball right here on the Yes Network. We thank you for joining us, and honestly, we thank you for staying around. It's 16-0. It got out of hand early. It was 9-0 after 3. Javier Vasquez had the worst outing of his career. He lasted just an inning and a third. The Yankee bullpen has not helped at all. 6 runs in the 5th, 1 in the 6th, and that's where we stand right now. It's 16-0 here in the bottom of the 7th inning. First game of an 11-game homestand for the Yankees and a 3-game set against the Indians. Pitch to John Olerud is upstairs 1-0.
You mentioned that late movement from Maddux, and from a left-hand standpoint, I always felt like, you know, you want to learn things from other pitchers. I try to watch Whitey Ford, and Tommy John, Dave McNally were 2 examples of guys that could do that to right-hand hitters. Throw that fastball inside and move across the corner. But just the body language of the 2 starters tonight, you can see how much confidence, and that's what his pitching coach, Carl Willis, who ironically was a student of mine when I was coaching the Reds. Coached Carl, there he is. He also had a lot of success with the Twins during their World Championship year. He said he's just so confident right now with that sinker, and he's added the cutter. And you can tell he's just playing catch with Victor Martinez. He's not concerned about the hitter hitting the ball at all.
1-2.
Well, you know, if you think about it, it really makes sense because the scouting report's going to tell you that Westbrook's got the good sinker that goes down and away from the left-handed hitter. So you're thinking about that pitch that you're looking out, over the middle of the plate and away, and you get so strung up on that you forget about that late movement pitch on the inside part. Kind of like that right there.
Yeah, he could almost pitch a game with just 1 pitch because it has so much movement.
Two. Broken bat. Single to right field for Olerud. Rodriguez will round second. He'll go to third. And the Yankees have runners on the corners. 2 outs here in the 7th.
The late movement again was a little bit more out towards the middle of the plate, and Olerud, what was it, the pitch before that where he really got out in front of that inside pitch and pulled it into the Yankee dugout. That was a little bit more towards the middle of the plate.
Cairo slices one foul.
Boy, they're getting some tough souvenirs down there over that first base dugout.
Well, it was close to a sellout crowd here at the stadium at the beginning, and a lot of people have made their way home. You can't blame them. As we said, this got out of hand early. Luckily, a kid made the play without getting hurt on that scorching line drive.
The other kid, he's got the baseball and also a big bucket of popcorn.
Now he just has the bucket of popcorn.
No, he's just got the popcorn.
Well, they both have a ball.
Oh, well, I guess they didn't pick up the ball then.
Grounded toward third. Charging McDonald, and he fires to first, and that'll end the inning. As A-Rod, for some reason, was diving back to third base here in the bottom of the seventh inning, and Rob Thompson is having a talk with him. He probably forgot how many outs there were. Watch this right here. For some reason, he just dives back to third. Maybe he thought that McDonald had an easier play at home. What a night. Top of the eighth inning, 16-0 Indians here on Yes.
Check that moon out.
Coco Crisp leads off against Esteban Loaiza here in the eighth inning. Takes a first pitch strike in the count 0-1. Yankees trail 16-0 here at the stadium. Soft ground ball to second base. Cairo's there to Olerud, and Crisp hustling down the line. One away now. Omar Vizquel's coming up, and he is 5 for 5, so it's a good time for the closer look replay brought to you by Samsung at all 5 swings.
3 from the left side, now 4 from the left side. He pulled the first 3, and in up from the right side of the plate against C.J. Nitkowski. Pulls it down the line. He's got a chance to tie a record right here.
And there's a strike. The last Indian with 6 hits in a 9-inning game, Jorge Orta, who did it on June 15th, 1980 against the Twins. Last player with 6 hits, Carlos Pena, who did it last year, or check it, this year, May 27th. Carlos, the first baseman of the Tigers. 2-2.
Well, you can have yourself a good 2 weeks in one night.
Yeah.
Grounded up the middle. Will it get through? Yes, it does. Omar Vizquel is 6 for 6, and he has tied an American League record for most hits in a 9-inning game.
Might want to get that baseball. Yep.
He knew it.
Right fielder,
Right through the wickets.
Pitch to Ludwig is high. Well, Vizquel started the day at 302, and when he looks up at the scoreboard tomorrow, unless he comes up again, he is going to be at 311. A nice 9-point game. Shows you how many at-bats he has if he only gained 9 points with 6 hits. Usually we like to pick up 2 points a hit.
Now those are 6 hits in a game, and nobody's ever gotten 7 hits in a game, right?
In the American League, the National League, Rennie Stennett.
Yeah,
He did it, but I mean, what about tomorrow night? Can you? What's the consecutive hit?
That's up there in the
Record.
double digits, I think.
Is it really?
I think so. Was it Jim Bottomley got to 12 or 13 hits in a row, or Walt Dropo or somebody like that?
Lawton,
You
or should I
mentioned
say
the
Ludwig fouls it off.
you mentioned the Stennett game, and I flew to Chicago on a day ahead of time because I was pitching the next day, and I thought, oh, the Pirates are playing the Cubs. I think I'll just go over there and take in a game at Wrigley Field. And that was the day, 1975, September, I believe it was, that Rennie Stennett got 7 hits.
Ludwig down looking, and you were looking at the Indians in-game box score, which is sponsored by our good friends at your Tri-State Lincoln Mercury dealer. And in that box score, 6 out of the 16 hits for the Indians off the bat of Omar Vizquel.
Well, the most hits consecutive in a season in the American League. Mike Higgins did it for Boston back in 1938. Also Walt Dropo.
Yep,
with the Detroit Tigers back in 1952, July of 1952. So it's 12.
Mike Higgins, better known as Pinky Higgins, who also managed the Red Sox for a while.
And of course we got Mike Hegan
right in the booth
next to us, former Yankee first baseman. You talk about some good hands at first base. Oh, he could pick it.
Well, it's a great genes. Who had better hands behind the plate than his dad, Jim Hegan?
Yeah. There's Mike
On the left. Well, the Indians, if they can get a little rally going, they can get Vizquel another at bat. Count 2-1.
I'll tell you what, you asked for something, Mike Schenkman, our statistician guy, he's got it.
Did you say old?
Well, I meant old.
Okay.
He looks old, but I know he's not that old. Just kidding, Mike.
No, he does look old. Here's the 2-1. There's a strike. And the count 2-2. So Loaiza in his second inning of relief work. His first relief outing since the end of 2001. He struggled as a starter in the rotation, and he is making his first appearance out of the bullpen. And the count 3-2. 16-16-1 for the Indians, 0-5-0 for the Yankees.
Looks like they'll have the night off.
Line drive over the leaping try of Cairo and into right field. Victor Martinez picks up his first base hit of the night as Vizquel moves to second. So runners on first and second and 2 outs for Travis Hafner.
There has been no 1-2-3 inning for the Indians in this game so far. Well, I checked at the back of the 4th inning. Had a 1-2-3 inning, 2 flyouts and a strikeout.
You know, you lose that inning with all the ink and all the pencil marks on our scoreboard. That inning just blends in.
That looks like a railroad track.
Martinez singled the 17th hit by the Indians. And the count 2-0.
Going back to that Anaheim series, the Yankees really have gotten pummeled here at home. 4th straight game, which is unusual.
We said earlier the Yankees have the best home record in baseball.
Rocketed to right field, and Kenny Lofton makes the play on Hafner for the final out of the inning, and Hafner really hit that ball hard. So the Indians, no runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 2 men left on base. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning, 16-0 Indians. Bottom of the 8th inning, it's time to take a look at the Yankees in-game box score, sponsored by your Tri-State Lincoln Mercury dealer. Only 5 hits there, and they are spread around evenly. Gary Sheffield, Alex Rodriguez, Hideki Matsui, John Olerud, and Miguel Cairo. And let's see, 2 doubles. Sheffield's and Matsui's were doubles. $51,777, and the man on the moon here at the ballpark today to watch this 15 or 16-0 flogging of the Yankees by the Indians. Kenny Lofton leads off the bottom of the 8th. What a busy day in New York. It's almost unbelievable that all of this could take place in one city. You've got the Yankees against the Indians here at Yankee Stadium. Over at Shea Stadium, you've got the Mets against the world champion Marlins. Lofton serves one down the line, giving chase as Garrett can't get there. Across the parking lot from Shea Stadium, where the Mets and the Marlins are playing, you have the U.S. Open at Arthur Ashe Stadium going on. And then in Manhattan at Madison Square Garden, the Republican National Convention. And a lot of people have poured into New York City, but you know what? A lot of people have also poured out of New York City that live there. But the city is holding up beautifully, and we thank goodness for that. Pitch is high. Jeremy Guthrie has taken over for Jake Westbrook here in the 8th inning. And the count 3-2.
Top draft pick for the Indians out of Stanford. Jeremy Guthrie.
And he's a little bit pumped up. And he walks Kenny Lofton.
That's a nice opportunity to come into games like this. But then on the other hand, if you're Jeremy Guthrie, the only thing you can do is look bad. You say, well, if you pitch well, you say, well, big deal. You know, 16-0 game. So sometimes you put a little more, carry a little more tension to the mound, put pressure on yourself, try to throw strikes.
Not his major league debut. He did that a couple of days ago against the White Sox. He went 1 inning, struck out 1, and hit a batter. Runner goes, and there's no throw. That's defensive indifference. Hey, tomorrow on Yes, the Yankees are back in the Bronx for Game 2 against the Indians. Complete coverage begins at 6:30 with Fred Hickman, Susan Waldman, and the Tri-State Quality Ford pregame. Then join Jim Cott, Bobby Mercer, and me as we call all the action beginning at 7 when the Yankees take on the Indians, only on Yes. Bernie Williams pops it up. Vizquel puts it away, 1 down. Here's Enrique Wilson, who took over for Derek Jeter in the 6th inning. Now the Yankees need a run to avoid the worst shutout loss in the franchise's history. So the runner in scoring position is big in that sense. And Wilson grounds one to Belliard. 2 down. Moving to 3rd is Lofton.
If you're going to have a miserable night, you might as well set a couple records in doing it. Got Vizquel in the record book.
Now Tony Clark will get a hat. He's going to bat for Gary Sheffield here in the 8th inning.
Boy, what a day he had in Toronto, or night, whichever, day and night, I guess.
3 home runs for Tony Clark. And he's got the lineup from that night posted in his locker at Yankee Stadium. Joe Torre gave him the dugout lineup sheet.
And didn't even start the next day.
I think that's the first thing Joe told him after the game, wasn't it? That nice day, but Olerud's playing tomorrow. Yeah. Tony said no question.
Yeah, he did. And just like he always does, you know, he was out early taking some additional batting practice down in the cage in left field before live batting practice started.
Clark's had a nice year coming out the bench for the Yankees. 15 homers and 45 runs batted in. Hitting .234, but when Giambi first got hurt before Olerud got here, he really bridged the gap beautifully. He did a nice job defensively and got some key hits for them.
Yeah, even though the average is not the average that Tony Clark would like to have, but if you take a look at the 15 home runs and the 45 RBIs, a lot of those made the difference in a lot of games that Tony Clark played in.
It's kind of like John Flaherty. You look at his average and it doesn't really tell you how valuable he's been to the Yankees.
Tony has heated up again of late. Take a look at John right there. Tony is 4 for his last 10, and all 4 hits, home runs. Switch hitter batting from the left side against Guthrie. Swing and a miss, and Clark is down on strikes. So the shutout remains. No runs, no hits, no errors, and one man left on base. We go to the ninth, 16-0 Indians. John McDonald leads off against Esteban Loaiza in his third inning of work, in the count 1-0. Slow roller, third base side. Loaiza off the mound, bare hands, fires, and what a pretty scoop by John Olerud, one away. Here's Josh Phelps. And there's a strike. Now, we mentioned earlier, and I think if you're a Yankee fan, you know exactly what's going on. The Indians are beating the Yankees badly, and the Red Sox are beating the Angels badly, which would lead you to believe that when you wake up tomorrow, maybe when you go to bed tonight, it's going to be a 3.5 game lead. Kitty and Bobby both said players look forward to the challenge. They don't get nervous. But is there a point, gentlemen, where they start to look over their shoulders and go, wow, this is a lot closer than it was a little bit? Do they get a little bit sweaty about it?
I don't think so. I mean, I think they know that. And it's not that the players would say, hey, let's make it close because we want the competition. Certainly you'd rather win the division by 15 games, but I don't think they fear it. I think they all say, this is part of a 162-game season. You're going to have some, go through some downtimes. And, I think the good teams like the Yankees, you overcome that adversity.
I think you get a little concerned that 10 days from now, if they're 3.5 games back of the Boston Red Sox.
I mean, the clubhouse humor comes out.
Well, this is where the veteran leadership really comes.
But I know from being on teams where, you had a lead and planned on winning. And the Phillies were a good example when the Pirates started sneaking up. And, you look around the clubhouse and you see guys kind of like that deer in the headlights look. And you look at them and say, hey, if you're scared, go get a Doberman. I mean, you can't be scared playing this game. You got to you just look ahead to tomorrow and say it's the biggest game of the season the Yankees are going to play is the game they play tomorrow. And the advantage they have is, first of all, they have a lead, and they have a good, solid pitcher going to the mound every game. They haven't been pitching the way they're capable of, but certainly there's no reason to panic. It's not like they're sending it out an untried pitcher. Think of the teams who, if their ace gets beat, then they say, wow, what are we going to do now? You don't have much behind your first couple pitchers. Well, the Yankees have the advantage of having a pretty solid 5-man rotation.
Now we got to look at Derek Jeter, who was obviously gone into the clubhouse and now is watching the remainder of the game from the dugout. He's not going to scare. He seems to thrive on this stuff, but you can't say that all 25 guys are not going to get a little nervous about it. There's got to be some people in that dugout that won't like it.
No, but I think that a lot of times that players like Derek Jeter, they begin to turn it up a notch or two, too, and that's the veteran leadership and what Jeter, he's been through this before. I mean, since 1996, he's been through a lot of seasons, where the Yankees have played well and then they didn't play well. And so they know that there's a lot of games still left to play, as Kitty was talking about. I mean, they've got, 31 games left to play, so there's a lot of time to play. And they understand their schedule. They understand that they're home most of the time now in the month of September. That's going to help quite a bit. They just got to play better. That's all there is to it.
Can you imagine if the Red Sox had the 10.5 game lead and it was now down to 3.5? The panic that would exist in Boston, not only among the fans but the front office. But here, I think the mindset is that the Yankees have been down this road before. They've won a lot. And they know what it takes, so there's no reason to panic. They're still pretty much in the driver's seat. That's the advantage of building a 10-game lead.
Jody Garrett hit one deep to right field. That ball is gone. A 3-run home run for Jody Garrett, and the Indians will now lead 19-0. And with that swing, that ensures that Omar Vizquel is going to get another at bat.
Wow.
That ball got out of here in a hurry. You can see Flaherty, that's that cutter that didn't cut inside. And Jody Garrett turned around on this line shot in the mezzanine there in right field. Watch where it lands.
Wow, they hardly ever go there. Here's Coco Crisp. And very quietly, Esteban Loaiza, amidst the 19 runs, is having another poor outing. 6 hits he's given up and a walk in 2 1/3 innings of relief. Check that. 7 hits and a walk. The count 2-0.
I wonder if Omar knows
that he could be the first guy in the history.
Yeah, in the American League.
In the American League, sure he knows.
Sure, the Indians PR department called down to the
Well, he
clubhouse
asked
to
for the
alert
ball
him.
when he got his 6th hit, so he knew that he had tied
That's
a
true.
record.
That's right.
That's true.
That's right. Well, I thought, he might have been thinking that's my career high 6, but somebody must have told him that it's also a league record.
And a walk to Crisp, and that'll bring up Omar Vizquel. Now, there have been 2 7-hit games in Major League history. One by Rennie Stennett in 1975, and then you have to go back to 1892. And Uncle Wilbert Robinson picked up 7 hits.
In a 9-inning game.
Right, in a 9-inning game.
That really Stennett 7-hit game. I wonder what the final score was in that game.
The pitch to Vizquel is a strike.
I mean, you got to be sending some men to the plate to get up 7 times.
I think the Buccos probably won that in pretty easy fashion.
The 0-1. Grounded softly to first. I wonder if the crowd knows, because they did give him a hand when he came to the plate, maybe just because he was 6 for 6. But I'm not sure how many people here would have it just in their recesses of their mind that 7 hits is the record. That Rennie Stennett game, the Pirates won 22-0.
I'd say that's handedly.
The 0-2.
Very similar to this game.
And the 1-2 pitch. And the count 2-2. Just got a piece to foul it back. Along with Jim Cotta and Bobby Mercer, I'm Michael Kay, and you are watching Yankees baseball right here on the YES Network. It has not been a pretty game. Yankees are trailing 19-0 in the top of the 9th inning here at the stadium. Omar Vizquel 6 for 6, trying to set an American League record. High fly ball down the right field line. Giving chase is Lofton. He's there, and they finally retire Omar Vizquel. 2 away. And the crowd at the stadium gives him a pretty nice hand, what's left of it.
Yeah, that's pretty classy. I think a lot of people are aware of what he was going for.
Very classy.
Teammates say, hang with him, you'll break out of it tomorrow.
Here's Ludwig. Fouls one off the other way.
Right now, Vizquel's 0 for 1 in his last at bat.
Only as good as your last at bat.
Yeah.
Yesterday, or should I say Sunday, when the Yankee game was finishing in Toronto, the Red Sox were watching the game in their clubhouse at Fenway Park, and when the game was final and the Yankees lost to the Blue Jays, Derek Lowe jumped up and said, look out for the Red Sox, don't cut us out. So they're getting excited about the Yankees as well, and they've kind of taken their focus away from the wild card. They're looking at the American League East. A base hit for Ludwig. . And moving to third is Coco Crisp.
In my opinion, you know, what happened when the Yankees fell into this little slump when the Red Sox were playing well and they started trimming these games off of the Yankee lead. That gave the Red Sox hope. You know, and that's one of the biggest things that could happen to a ball club, is to get a lot of hope back into your club with the optimism that goes along with that. I don't think anybody ever thought that the Red Sox were as bad as doing 10.5 games back of the Yankees.
Victor Martinez with a 3-run home run. And the Indians, adding insult to injury, now lead the Yankees 22-0. Esteban Loaiza is not taking to relief work. And here's Travis Hafner, the 9th batter to come to the plate.
I'm surprised. I mean, sometimes I've been in games like this where as a starter you're trying to work your way out of it, and when you're out there you try to create some things, change some speeds, try to spin up a curve, and he just kind of, well, there's a good change up there, but and believe it or not, the Yankees are getting Quantrill up just in case they have to get out of the 9th inning. He needs to work.
The 1-1. There really is nothing to do but say, hey, that's just one game. Joe Torre's not going to yell at his team. You don't yell about a game like this. This is just one of those games. In fact, if the Yankees don't score a run in the bottom of the 9th inning, it's just 2 of those games in Major League history.
The Pirate game?
The Pirate game in this game would be the worst shutouts in Major League history.
The one with Rennie Stenick going 7 for 7. Huh?
Since 1900. Yeah. There was a 28-0 game in 1883.
Well, how lucky am I? I'm in the ballpark for both of them.
And a strikeout of Hafner, and that'll do it, a 6-run 9th.
Maybe it's because of
for
you.
the Indians. It's 22-0 as the Yankees will have their last licks coming up. Well, we go to the bottom of the 9th inning, and the Yankees want to scratch across a run so they can avoid being part of the biggest shutout in Major League history, the largest shutout, 22-0, only done once before in the Rennie Stenick game. And A-Rod fouls it back. We do stress that that's since 1900. The 0-1. 1-1.
Well, Kitty did say he was, if that happens, he could be a part of both of those.
Yeah,
right?
was that both of them?
But you're not talking about the one back,
1883?
1883?
Nah, I had a cold that day. Didn't go.
Ground ball of Vizquel. 1 away. Let's take a look at the play of this game, brought to you by Continental Airlines, the official airline of the New York Yankees.
It happened back in the 1st inning. The Indians got off on the right foot when Travis Hafner tripled. Knock in 3 runs. That's the play of the game.
Pitched above a Crosby is outside 1-0. High fly ball, shallow right. Ludwig is there. 2 down. Well, following tonight's last at bat, you have to stick around for the Nissan postgame with Fred Hickman and Susan Waldman. I want to hear what comes out of that clubhouse, featuring comprehensive analysis of tonight's game, interviews with players, plus all the scores and highlights from around the league. The Nissan postgame immediately follows the game. It's right here on Yes. Here's John Flaherty. And there's a strike. 22-0. And another strike by Ludwig, and the count is, I'll check that, Guthrie. It's 0-2.
I've been here a long time. I've never seen a game like this. Obviously.
Jim Cott would have been at both of those games, and there was a player that played for Pittsburgh in that game, Willie Randolph, and he's the Yankee bench coach.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Back in 1975, before the Yankees traded Doc Medich to the Pirates for Willie Randolph.
The guy who's probably the most, I don't want to say nervous, but a little anxious about tomorrow's game is C.C. Sabathia. Anytime you see the Yankees get thumped 22-0 and you're the starting pitcher the next day, you say, man, these guys are going to make somebody pay for that. The Yankees don't have an easy chore either. I mean, it's one of the better left-hand pitchers in baseball.
Guthrie deals the 1-2. Line drive, foul. Guthrie in his second inning of relief work. Jake Westbrook went 7. And this should do it. Flaherty pops it up. Phelps is there, and he'll put it away, and the Yankees lose the game 22-0. It's the worst loss in Yankee history, shutout-wise. It's the most lopsided shutout in American League history. And it's tied for the worst shutout in Major League Baseball history since 1900. And that's the way it affects the standings. Boston beat up on the Angels. The Yankees get beat up on by the Indians. And now their lead in the American League East is 3.5 games. Omar Vizquel with 6 hits in the game. He made it out his final time as he tried to tie a Major League record held by Rennie Stennett. Yankees fall 22-0. We come back and try to make sense of it all right here.